Okay, so I see there's a lot of comments and questions in the comment section. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to respond to each and every one of them, but I think I'm going to answer just a couple of questions that I think are important to note just here. So somebody was asking this particular question: what if the mother had actually drafted a will? Would that have made a difference? The short answer is yes. Listen, if the mother had drafted a will, in that particular will, she would have inserted a clause that makes it clear that she does not want anything that she's leaving behind to any beneficiary to form part of their marital regime. And in that way, the husband would not have been entitled to the property. So it would have made a difference in this particular instance. So because there's no will, unfortunately, automatically, whatever it is that was left behind by the mother now forms part of the joint estate. Obviously, if they want to fight it out in court, they're at liberty to do so. The second question that I saw being posed was someone saying or asking, what if she just places the property under a trust? It's not going to make a difference. At this point in time, whatever property she has, whatever she has acquired, is that of the joint estate. Even if she fraudulently opens up a trust and places this property under that trust, it is still going to be found to be a sham trust because that particular property belongs to the joint estate. And unless there's something that excludes the husband from benefiting, or there's an order that's made that excludes the husband from benefiting, that particular benefit is that of the joint estate, and therefore, even if she were to place it under a trust, it would make no difference at all. And in actual fact, she would even not be successful if she tries, unless she does so fraudulently so. The third question was, what if she just leaves the property and doesn't register it in her name? Listen, if you get a benefit by virtue of the law, whether by benefiting it from a will or whatever, just because that benefit that you have received is not registered in your name doesn't mean that it's not yours or doesn't belong to you. There's a lot of people that I know that are still living in their deceased parents' house or houses, and those properties are still not registered in their names. And even though those properties are not registered in their names, it doesn't necessarily mean they are not the rightful beneficiaries, and it doesn't mean that those properties don't belong to them. So irrespective of whether she registers the property or doesn't register the property, it still remains the fact that that particular property forms part of the joint estate. I mean, even if you have property, you're sitting there and you're thinking it's in your name, it doesn't matter. If you're married in community of property, by virtue of the law, that property is that of the joint estate. I hope this helps.